Hello everybody and welcome to the second spotlight that I'll be releasing alongside the Pecorine one, assuming all things are going according to Keikaku. Like I said it in that one, assuming you watched that one first, as you probably should have, we'll be going over her skills, her stats, and just her overall viability in the game. And with all that being said, let's get into Kyaru's stats. Alright, so first of all, Kyaru is a backline unit. Kyaru has 30,796 HP. She also has the highest magic attack in the game at 16,820. She also has 259 physical defense, as well as 347 magic defense. Now, in terms of speed and or position for her, Kyaru is currently 25th in terms of backline, and is in between Hatsune at 26th and New Year's Yui at 24th. Alright, so what is Kyaru good at? Kyaru is a backline debuffer and DPS contributor, but later on becomes a high DPS magic unit capable of some pretty nutty damage. Alright, so let's move into her skills and UB. First up, her UB. Her UB is called Grim Burst. It's an AoE magic attack that deals, you guessed it, magic damage to all enemies. It's pretty simple and straightforward. But upon her getting her 6-star, this UB is then upgraded to Abyss Burst. This is also an AoE magic attack that deals significantly more damage, and again, to all enemies. Along with it being a lot stronger than the OG version, Abyss Burst also inflicts the Fear debuff to all enemies for 8 seconds. Enemies inflicted with Fear cannot gain TP. This makes it really good at controlling in PvP, assuming you can get this off before she gets nuked by, I don't know, let's say an unfortunate Tamaki. Moving on from her UB, we have her first skill. Her first skill is called Thunderball. This skill inflicts a good bit of damage to the person in the very front. Once she gets her unique equipment, her equipment will give her 94 magic attack and 10 magic crit chance. Once you max her unique equipment out, this will then give her 936 magic attack and 100 magic crit chance. This will also upgrade her first skill from Thunderball to Thunderball Plus. It still deals damage to the enemy in the very front, but it will now do splash damage to all enemies around the enemy that gets hit. Not only that, but it will also give everyone hit by this splash damage a small magic debuff for 12 seconds. Moving on to her second skill. Her second skill is called Armored Down. It reduces both the magical and physical defense of a person in the front for 12 seconds. And lastly, her third skill. This is a passive called Dark Eclipse. Increases her magic attack at the start of battle by a good bit. At 5-star, this gets upgraded to Dark Eclipse Plus. This buff gets much stronger, letting Kyaru deal way more damage. As I said in Pecorine Spotlight, every unit has a unique attack pattern. So here is Kyaru's initial pattern. So, to open up, she does skill 2, and then skill 1. Again, very basic, but we get some more complicated ones later down the line. Then, after that, her loop is attack, attack, skill 2, attack, and then skill 1. Let's go over her bond bonuses. At bond 2, she gains 15 magic attack. Bond 3, again 15 magic attack. Bond 4, 30 magic attack. Bond 5, 40 magic attack. Bond 6, 40 magic attack plus 10 crit rate. 7, 40 magic attack plus 10 more magic crit rate. Bond 8, magic attack 60, 15 magic crit rate, and 60 TP recovery per wave. And like I said it before, we will get 9, 10, 11, and 12 a bit later. So at 9, she gets 80 magic attack. 10, 80 magic attack plus 20 crit rate. 11, 80 magic attack and 20 crit rate. 12, 120 magic attack, 30 magic crit rate, and also 120 TP recovery per wave. Alright, so let's get into where you could find Kyaru's pieces. Currently, in the game, and in the future, there is no place to farm Kyaru's pieces. The only place that you can get her is currently, and forever, in the dungeon shop. Now, you might be thinking that this is a bad thing.
Right? Wrong!
This actually makes it to where, if you do your dungeon runs every day, and you clear the dungeon boss, you should have enough to consistently give you 10 to 15, maybe even 20 Kyaru pieces per day, since you can refresh the shop and buy hers again. This makes her one of the easiest units to get from 1 star to 5 star. Sure, it may take you a couple of weeks, but this will still be much faster than some of the other units that you have to physically farm for in hard mode stages. Now, later on, once she gets her 6-star form, you can actually farm these, because they won't be available anywhere else. And that is at very hard 18-3. Okay, so let's move on to team comps. Like with most magic DPS units, Kyaru is very squishy, and she can be killed really easily if you aren't careful. That said, try to pair her up with a good healer and units that can protect her with either defense buffs, barriers, or units that have taunts. Kyaru benefits greatly from having magic attack buffs and also action speed buffs. That said, some good units to pair her with are Maho for heals and also 4 defense buffs, Nozomi for the taunt, and lastly Kokoro for her magic attack buff on her UB and action speed buff. Okay, so here are my final thoughts. So, Kyaru is very weak early on since she's a starter unit, but don't let that stop you. She is, like I said, one of the easiest units to star up, since you can guarantee yourself 5 fragments per dungeon coin usage. She doesn't have much in the way of stats whenever she initially starts, but as she goes up in rank and star level, her stats actually become pretty gross, letting her deal quite a bit of magic damage. Later on, she becomes an absolute magic juggernaut. She is very skilled at debuffing enemies in the front, and also her splash damage can be the bane of certain PvP teams if you decide to use her there, such as the all tank comp. Lovely. Alright, so let's move on to her ranking. Like I did with the Pecorine Spotlight, I'll be separating these into different ranks based on where you have yours. Kyaru, before her exclusive equipment, will have a B- in story/dungeon, a C+ in PvP, and a B in clan battle/Luna Tower. With her unique equipment, she will then get a B+ in story and dungeon, B+ in PvP, B+ in clan battle/Luna, and finally at 6-star, she gets an A+ in story/dungeon, an S in PvP, and an S in clan battle/Luna Tower. And those are my thoughts on the Tsun Cat Kyaru. But what do you think of the Tsun Cat? Let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next set of spotlights. See you later, and remember, a cat is fine too.